I wanted to build an experience for this category that was really based on how women fall in love with jewelry.
I'm Kristen Flowers. I'm a morning radio personality on 96.5 KOIT in San Francisco. I love to talk, but especially when I get to talk to inspiring and dynamic women. I also love getting manicures. Today I'm talking with Meaghan Rose, the CEO and founder of Rocksbox, which is a company that ships jewelry to you once a month. Meaghan built this company with just a couple pieces of her own jewelry. How did she do it? How can we brand our own companies? I wanted to find all this out, so I invited her down to Lacquer Bar in Berkeley for a meeting and manicure.
So what got you into Rocksbox?
I was living in New York, working as a consultant, a strategy consultant at McKinsey, and I worked with big consumer companies, like big CPG, kind of, like chocolate and ice cream, electronics, beauty, all kinds of big established global brands. And I just was, I was like, wow, they don't really think about how consumers are shopping and how that's changing.
Yeah.
And I just really felt like, as a customer, nobody was really thinking about jewelry from the customer's perspective. I was living in New York, and we used to all go over to my girlfriend Lila's apartment before we went out because she had this amazing accessory closet. Thank God she has a size 7.5 shoe, which is the same as me, so I would always wear her shoes.
We all need a friend like that, by the way.
I know, exactly. I was like, this is God's gift to me, is that I have the same shoe size as Lila.
Yeah.
So I was like, this is just how we actually think about accessorizing, is we like to try stuff. We want to wear it out, see how it feels, how it goes with our clothes.
Right.
I wanted to build an experience for this category that was really based on how women fall in love with jewelry.
Was this before the whole subscription box thing kind of blew up?
Definitely, yeah. This was way before that. When I first started, actually, I started with a concept that was really just a kind of a normal e-commerce concept. Okay. And then I started really thinking, this isn't really that great of a shopping experience. Like looking at a thumbnail picture of something, it's hard to really feel inspired. Like I must have these earrings.
Yeah.
I wanted to sort of take all that jewelry that was just sitting around, not being worn, and just send it to her and let her wear it and let her decide what she wanted to buy.
Yeah.
And so as that idea evolved, it just sort of made sense that it was a membership-based service where she could get a few pieces to try at a time and then swap those pieces out as often as she wanted.
If you get a box in the mail and there's a ring, a bracelet, and earrings, and you go, well, I don't really like the earrings, but I like the ring and the bracelet, can you keep the ring and the bracelet for a certain period of time and then return it, or do you have to buy it?
So you keep all three. If you want to buy one, you buy one.
Oh, okay.
And then whenever you're ready for something new, you send the set back all together.
Oh, so you can keep it as long as you want?
Yes.
Kind of? Yeah, like the old school Netflix idea.
It is, yes. It's like the old school Netflix idea. Each box that goes out is picked specifically for that member at that time based on what she told us she wants.
That's really cool. So what is your jewelry style, if you had to pick one?
I really am game for anything.
Oh, yeah?
I mean, that's what's so cool about the service in general, but definitely for me, there are trends that come through and I'm like, oh my God, I would never wear that. And then a month in, I'm rocking it, just like everybody else.
I know.
I remember when chokers started to come back, I was sort of like, I cannot pull this off. And now I have a choker in like every color, silver, gold. And that's like what our brand is about, is really about like inspiring people to sort of go for it and try new things and just have fun.
Yeah. I wish I could do a choker, but like I get like neck issues, especially when I'm like sitting down. So I'm like, the choker like gets absorbed. A long time ago, when there was like 1 or 2 subscription box companies out, I thought that I was going to get into the marketplace for it. I was like,
oh, cool.
I'm gonna open a subscription box, and then I realized how much work it takes to put into something like this. So for people that want to get into it, like how do you even start a company like yours?
I'm sure there are a lot of different ways to go about it, but for me it was, I left my job. That was a big step. That was sort of like a big scary step to take. I learned basic programming. I used my own jewelry initially.
Wow.
As we started to kind of get more people signing up, I started buying stuff on Gilt, and then as we got even bigger, I started buying stuff in the fashion district in New York. I think for me it was figuring out what did my customer care most about, and that informed, what do I invest in the most. I think it was really about having great jewelry and having a personalized experience early on. That's why I thought, okay, I can build the tech myself and then start to really get great jewelry and then figure out branding and marketing and all that.
How did you convince companies that you were worth investing in?
That was hard. There were a lot of cold calls. I moved out here and just sort of started going to industry trade shows. So there are a couple industry trade shows around the country. I remember trying to pitch Kendra Scott early on, and she wasn't having it in the beginning. But then I started to figure out who were some of the bigger suppliers. I built relationships. I sort of shared the concept with them.
Yeah.
One of the things about jewelry is that as a category, there's no real destination retail experience for jewelry. Like
there isn't.
Like Sephora is for beauty. And so that's always been the vision, is to create a destination retail experience that's based on how women want to shop for this category.
Yeah.
And so that was the pitch to them, was, this is going to be a great way for women who love jewelry to discover your brand.
Well, it's interesting that you say that, because as I was getting ready for this interview, I was up on your website and I was looking through some of the jewelry you had, and I just got turned on to so many brands that I had never heard of before that I'm like, this stuff is amazing.
Yeah.
Like, so beautiful. When did it become so big that you knew you needed to hire people?
I think the first real, oh my God, I really need to get other people on the team kind of moment was when I had this WordPress website and there was an update that pushed through and the whole website shut down, and I couldn't even figure out how to fix it.
Oh, no.
So I was, doing all this work to try and drive traffic to the website, and meanwhile I was curating boxes at night and going to the post office during the day and just trying to make it all work. And I thought, okay, I need to get some other people on the team here. Building the company has really been about building the team and kind of letting go of the sense of it's my company. It's like all the work that the team does to bring it to life. And that's so rewarding to see other people really having that much ownership over it.
How do you not micromanage everything, since it's your vision and your company?
Yeah, that's hard to do. The truth is, when you hire great people, they know this better than you do. I mean, I should not be running our merchandising team. I can tell you, my background is in business. I'm really passionate about customer experiences, and that's why I wanted to create this brand. But Allie, who runs our merchandising team, is incredible. I love working with her. She's brilliant. She's built an amazing team. They're super talented. They do a way better job than I could ever do.
So tell me about building brands, because this is just a gray area for me, and everyone always says that, oh, we need, you need to build a brand, or you need to establish a brand. How did you go about doing that, and how did social media play into that for you?
I think the thing about brands is that they really evolve, and the more you can get to the why, why does your brand exist? What is the message, that you're trying to deliver to the world, and people feel connected to the brand, and that's where I think kind of the magic happens. We have this woman on our team, Haley, who is our brand, who owns the brand, and so I just think that she really does an amazing job of bringing to life the essence of what the company is all about, and that makes it so that when we put content out there, it just resonates with people, and it's beautiful. That doesn't hurt.
That's true.
But social media has played a huge role, for sure. Continues to play a huge role. When we first started the business, we grew really through these medium-sized bloggers, kind of small, medium-sized bloggers, who have always been awesome to work with. As the business has evolved, influencers continue to be a really important channel of growth for us. And Instagram in particular is the biggest channel, as you can imagine.
Yeah.
But it's just it's the perfect platform to tell a visual story about a brand, about jewelry.
That's true. When you're picking out people to endorse your product or to talk about your product, is there something that you look for in particular?
We try to get a good representation of different influences that we work with that connect with different women. I think at the end of the day, it's really about their followers, and do they have a really strong relationship with the followers that they have, and is their message consistent with our brand?
So you have a 9-month-old, and you have these big, beautiful earrings in right now. Will she grab onto them and never let go?
She does.
Okay.
Yeah, she does.
Did you start your company as a mom, or did you?
No, I didn't. I had my son right after we raised our first outside money. So we raised a seed round in 2014, and I had in February, and I had my son in November of that year.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was a really busy time. We have more flexibility to sort of make the choices that we want for ourselves, individually, than we ever have before.
Do you ever felt like you had to sacrifice one or the other?
There are only so many hours in the day, and so for sure, there's a lot of trade-off decisions that have to be made. Certainly there are times where it is hard, it would be, dishonest, or I wouldn't be telling the whole story to say otherwise. But I also feel wow, I am so lucky to get to have these two amazing kids who I adore, and my own company. And the experience of running my own company is, it's an amazing experience. And I do think being a mom has made me a better CEO.
Well, why do you say that?
For one thing, you have to prioritize your time.
Yeah,
And so you're
that's
just
true.
more disciplined about things.
Yeah.
But also you just become a better communicator. There's something, I think you develop like more empathy and better listening skills when you're forced to interact with a toddler.
It's true.
And people
Patience.
are people, yeah, patience, listening, empathy, sort of, and it just gives you a little bit of perspective on things. And you know, I think being a founder it's a journey with a lot of ups and downs, and having that perspective, coming home and kind of being centered on what's really most important in the world, like has given me, I think, just like the positivity and the perspective to kind of push through hard times too. And there's nothing better than coming home and spending time with my kids. Like,
Yeah.
I just love it, yeah.
Well, Meaghan, thank you so much for being here today. This was so much fun.
Yeah, this is so fun.
So I'm officially converted. I need to start my jewelry collection.
Oh, I have a present for you.
Oh, you do?
I always travel with jewelry here.
Oh my gosh, you do?
Yes.
You must be very popular.
Look how pretty. It's always fun getting a box of jewelry. I mean,
It is. It's always exciting.
Exactly.
I don't know. What do you think?
Beautiful.
Can I rock it?
Yeah, they look good with your top, actually.
Very cool.
Yeah, very cool.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So if people want to get one of these boxes for themselves, how do they do that?
Go to rocksbox.com, rocksbox.com, fill out a style survey, and get started.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, thanks. It's great to see you.